It's just the way it worked out, I guess. But we were happy, you know? Just she and I. It was sweetness. She loved Chaplin, Hemingway, and Leonard Cohen. I was more Buster Keaton, Kafka, and Hank Williams, but I guess it didn't matter none. I traded her my dad's old beat-up Bible for her dad's broke-down radio. It was her idea. Said it was a show of faith and love. She was probably right. We pretty much just kept to ourselves when we were together. We abandoned our friends, and she danced for me. I wanted to marry her when we got older. 17's one hell of an age. And everything went wrong. The air smelled like sweat, but not hers. And I can hear the two of them in her room. I just finished the day in the field with Dad, so I went outside to the car. She and I had bought it 2 months earlier from her uncle.
I went out and grabbed the pickaxe from the trunk.
It was still dirty. I went back up to her room. They were still in her bed. He was on top of her. They didn't hear me come in, so I grabbed him from behind and threw him over. She was screaming, so I hit her a few times to quiet her out. The pickaxe made a crunching noise that sounded broken and wet when it hit his face. I don't think he knew what was happening. It was all real fast. I don't even know what he looked like anymore. Then I went and raised the pickaxe at her. I couldn't do it. Not with a pickaxe anyways. So I used my fists. When her moaning stopped, and when she wasn't moving anymore, I panicked. Put her body in the trunk and fled.
When I finally came to, my breath smelled of gin, and I was 5 days out of town.
I mourned her and grieved as best I could. It wasn't enough. I looked at her body one last time. Her face was unrecognizable, but her body was also covered with bruises. The thing is, I never touched her body back at the apartment. Just her face. It wasn't infidelity that I walked in on. My girl was being raped. I left her body in the trunk and set fire to the car. And I've hemorrhaged for her ever since. I rode a train to the nearest border town and spent the next weeks looking for mention of me in the papers. But Trudeau had just pardoned Nixon. Apollo 11 crashed a few days later. The papers had bigger things to print instead of a small-time killing. It's been 6 years. So yeah, I guess I have been in love.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh, that is a boat, that is a run. They went down to the boat, and the boat got drunk. I've got my eyes on you, so best beware.